Here we are once again. It is noon on a Wednesday, Eastern Time, which means, of course, it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. I can hear the sirens going off behind me on time today
On
for
time.
once.
How about that?
Good for them. They're on the ball. Just like us. We're on time as well. The High Noon Hemp Show, of course, you can find a video live and on demand at the Hemptations Beach Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and on Twitter at Hemptations. For the audio only, of course, the podcast we found on Podbean, Google Play, and the iHeartRadio app. Many places to find us with video or without. I am Joe Clare. I do various things on the interwebs, which you can search out. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville. Beach, how are things today at the Hemp Quarters?
It is true. I am high above the Sharonville location at the hemp quarters. Things are great. Things are good. It's a beautiful day outside, honestly.
Indeed.
Um, it's a beautiful day inside for the most part. I think we're kind of over the snowy, bad roads and weather, and so the
Yeah.
stores are back to chugging along quite well, and it seems getting back to normal um, after the snowstorms, so to speak. Anyway, so yeah, nothing much going on, which I suppose is kind of a good thing. I don't have much local news to give you, but we're working into this year's Ohio harvest, so we'll see how that goes. What kind of licensing and stuff I never did fully get a number on the acres, complete acres that were grown last year in Ohio. So if anybody knows that, that would be great to know exactly how many acres of hemp did we grow in Ohio last year. And out of all those acres that we grew, how many of those made it to the market?
Yeah.
Now that would be an interesting statistic. Um, I don't think too many people, from what I heard, too many crops in Ohio got destroyed. But then again, um, I don't know if anybody wants to go around talking about it too much if it does happen to them. Either
Yeah.
way, so I am on the Jedi Hemp Channel YouTube feed. So if you're there watching, you can talk to me on the chat screen if you so desire.
Indeed.
Um,
Vance checking in on
and
Facebook
Great,
said, Beach brother, what
welcome,
up?
welcome to the High Noon Hemp Show, where we
Indeed.
that's all we talk about is hemp. Jumping right into it, let's get to the product spotlight. Um, the first one is our Planet Everywhere coffee filters. I just found a big stack of these, like hidden. So we packaged them up. And again, this is a coffee filter that you can literally use for life. I need to get these probably on the website. But once again, you rinse it out, you use it. You use it for a while, you rinse it out, you use it. They're great. I want to say I use the same, have been using the same hemp coffee filter 10 years, possibly.
Wow.
I know the one I have is a little bit thicker. I think ours actually are better because they're a little thinner, better material for that. But the one I have is definitely kind of thick. But, you know, and I kind of went on a kitchen theme somewhat with all of today's product spotlights, by the way. The next one is the hemp straws, which are available on the website and all the stores. 5 pack, 10 pack, or a box of 100. And this is, one of the greatest hemp composite replacement things that could possibly be out there. Um, we're seeing so much stuff, more to come in the news section, but we're seeing so much more stuff being made out of hemp composite and straws. Man, to get rid of plastic straws, what a great day that would be in the world.
Yeah.
The next one, if you need a little snack from your kitchen, how about some Manitoba hemp yeah granola? Um,
Whoops.
Whoops,
There we
back
go.
to the straws, back to the granola. You cannot eat the granola with the straw, or maybe you can. I don't know. Um, but Manitoba's been in the hemp grain game for as long as anyone up in Canada, and all of the foods and snacks that they come out with are really good, and these are no exception. It's true. If you like granola in any form, um, try some of the Manitoba hemp yeah granola. And the last one, now this is the pick from once again Sharonville. The Sharonville location has kind of become like the outlet place too because we have more room for stuff. And so sometimes a lot of the last of something that we have is in Sharonville. This is actually a pic of tablecloths, pillowcases, and things like that, all in different patterns that we have in the Sharonville store. So if you're looking for a new tablecloth or something like that, find your way into the Sharonville location, and we've got a great selection of again, and these should last a long time. They're nice and thick, good stuff. Um, well, there's four from the store. Now we do one from my door, which this week, and I promised this, I think last week,
Hmm.
because I talked about the hemp eyewear. I wore my contacts today, and I wore my one of my pairs of hemp eyewear that I have. It is nice and sunny outside, and so it's quite apropos. You're saying, Beach, you got glasses on. Well, the funny thing about putting my contacts in is I also need readers when I do that. And so, in order to read my script, I had to put my readers on. But I swear, I can wear my sunglasses home. Um, and I've got a couple other pairs of these, so I'll be showing those off on some sunny days coming up. So there you have it. Four from the store, one from my door on the product spotlight.
Indeed.
And of course, the one from my door also seen.
And of course, our next segment, the greatest thing ever to happen on the internet. I think we already established that. I don't know why I keep saying it because everybody knows by now this is the greatest thing on
Should
the
be.
internet. Is where hemp and fashion collide. Our beachwear segment, if you will. Where I ask Beach one very important question, and he gives us a very important answer. What are you wearing, Beach?
That's right. If you woke up today or you're just kind of curious, I went with the Hemptations theme today, so it's purple and green.
There you go.
So I've got my Evo hemp hat on, along with my hemp eyewear sunglasses. The hemp company long sleeve that works as a nice kind of thin jacket almost because they're 100% hemp, along with my Ono Hemptations tee, holding up my Kentucky Hemp Outfitter Carpenter jeans is my Hempy's belt. You can see in my pocket there, of course, as always, my Green Spring Technology pen, Satori briefs, and Satori socks, along with my Wicked hemp boots. So if you're wondering, can you dress in purple and green? Of course you can. And here is a nice hemp outfit to show you that it's true.
There you go.
We love our purple and green. All kinds of stuff going on in the news world. We got a lot of picks in the news world. So if you're listening to this on an iPad, you're really going to be missing out. But the first thing I want to say is congratulations to a company called Everything Legendary. They got an investment from Mark Cuban on Shark Tank. Um, and within 24 hours of the show airing, they sold more than 250,000 of their hemp protein patties.
Wow.
And so I think you can go online and order this company. I'm going to check out their website. Um, but $250,000 worth of hemp protein patties. And so, we've been talking about, and it's vegan or at least vegetarian hamburger substitute is huge, obviously, with the Impossible Burger making a big, you know, stir. The fact of the matter is hemp is a great option, especially for the protein to replace the protein you're not getting from the meat. Hemp is probably one of the best options out there. You know, uh, you see a lot of soy being used, and as we know, soy is not the best option. A, because it's controlled. 90% of it is controlled by one particular company that we all know about that no one really trusts. And so, unless it's organic soy, it's not a good base for that. Um, Black bean burgers are good, but I don't know that they give you the texture or the feel that people need to have if we're going to convert meat, or if we're going to convert meat eaters to fake meat eaters, it has to be the same consistency. It has to be like this. So they're just not going to say it's equal.
Yeah.
This is the truth of it. And so I can't wait to try everything Legendary's hemp protein patties. I'm definitely going to be trying to figure out whether I can get some of those into my freezer or refrigerator real soon. That's for sure. This next pick is a pick of a wig, um, but it is the world's first vegan-friendly lawyer's wig, and this is obviously over in the UK. Um, and apparently, they make them out the old wigs out of horsehair, which I did not know. But how about that? And again, I can't. I don't. They don't have to kill the horse to make the horsehair um, wig. But anyway, this was designed by a company called Cultiva Kingdom, and it's for this particular gentleman who is an animal rights campaigner and a pupil barista named Samuel March. And so, what a great option once again. Um, the horse gets to keep its hair, and you know, this nice hemp wig once again probably lasts forever. Probably needs less maintenance. I don't know. It's hard to say. But that's a fun little hemp product making the world. I'll have to figure out if I can actually order one of those maybe for
I
Halloween
was
or
just going
so.
to say, my question is, how can we get Beach a hemp wig?
Yes, I think that I would be fun to do the show in a hemp wig possibly.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you have to be a barrister or a lawyer, attorney, or a judge or whatever in the UK to wear one, impersonating one if I don't. But we'll have to check and see if you can win. We can maybe order one of those off their website. Didn't even think about that. um, been talking about hemp fashion recently. Um, this is a pick from a fashion show. Um, her name is Gazelle Claudia Zama, and I'm sure I'm not saying that right. But every one of these outfits is 100% hemp. It is her favorite fiber because of its sustainability and versatility. Um, and so, once again, I discussed it last week and I'll discuss it again, I'm sure. Nothing in the fashion show is actually made for the real world. No one watching the show right now is probably going to buy any of these outfits. But the fact that she's using 100% hemp um, sure promotes using hemp in a great way. Now, these are all more of a yarn, like crocheted almost material. So obviously they would be very soft, not rough like you would think of, but I think relatively soft. Crochet is making a comeback, and so I guess that's kind of showing how the fashion industry um, tends to mimic what's going on in the real world, but not in ways that people would actually. There might be one outfit there, maybe two that I could see, maybe three or four. I don't know, maybe I don't know, but more than I think. The ones in the corners are kind of crazy, but if you look at the rest of them, they're actually not that crazy. Might be kind of fun. Anyway, so that's awesome to see. 100% hemp. Nothing else. No other fibers. No other materials used in those outfits, which is once again great. Um, so here we have. Now this is a pick, and I think I might have actually shown one of these earlier, but spring is springing. Spring has not. It hasn't sprung yet. Um, but we're hoping that the today's weather, which is like 60 and sunny, if it happens, um, starts to happen more frequently. And when it does, that means the disc golfers are going to be out there. And disc golfing is very popular in Cincinnati. We have some really nice courses all over the city. Um, and so I haven't ordered one of these, and I feel like I said this the last time because, of course, I need to have like a complete set of uh, frisbee golf discs. But this is the Gateway Organic Hemp Blend. Um, this is their most popular putter, and they make it in different um, plastics, so to speak, and composites. This would be a composite. And so I don't know how that may affect the weight, possibly. I don't, I mean, the design should be the same, so that really shouldn't matter. But and they're at infinitediscs.com. I will add that to the website. On the second page of temptations.com, you can go to the about page, and I list the events that I talk about. on the High Noon Hemp Show, and I have been adding to the list of websites that you can go to purchase your own hemp. If you know you can't get into Hemptations or possibly purchased all you needed to from Hemptations, or looking for something a little different. Um, I don't care where you buy it; just buy more hemp. It's always been what
Indeed.
I say. um, Yet another composite um, product that I found just recently. But here is the Pella phone case. And this is just for, they only make them for certain phones, obviously. So you might have to go to their website and look them up um, to see if they have your phone. And of course, they're not cheap, but again, hemp composite. So this is something that you should be able to bury in your backyard, and it will decompose quite nicely. Um, I don't know that they're compostable, but they are decomposed. De, de, now my brain's going nuts though. Um, anyway, they will break down naturally with no harm to the environment, which is one of the greatest things about hemp composite. If you don't know why we want to replace 60 to 70% of the plastic in the world with hemp composite, that's just one reason. Plastic sits in a landfill for, I don't know, up to 500 years, I've heard. Crazy amount of time before it even starts to break down. Um, where these will decompose probably starting 60, 90 days and be gone. I mean, I'd almost guarantee you just about anything. It was a solid cube of hemp composite would probably be gone in a year. And so I can't guarantee any of that, but that's why we want hemp composites. If we can make stuff out of the hemp composites, because it's so much safer for the environment and it doesn't disturb the landfill, because you can just, again, bury it out in your backyard and be done with it. Don't even send it to the landfill. I'm gonna
Indeed.
start burying stuff in my backyard like a squirrel, but I'm gonna forget about them and not care because they're gonna be gone by the time I wanted to dig them up anyway.
Yeah.
And this last pick, once again, Nike sticking with their SB theme of using hemp. These are what's being called the Hawaii, um, and of course it's a high. They describe it. It's the Nike SB Dunk High Hawaii, and the swoosh is hemp, and the tongue is made out of hemp. And that's one of the things that I've noticed with the hemp Nikes that have been released lately is it is just the swoosh or the tongue, which I think is interesting. And I think it's because they're still trying to work out a hemp material for an entire shoe um, that I think would last longer. I mean, I think that's, a lot of the material. That's the one place that the material has to be the right material, as in shoes, because I have noticed with most of my hemp shoes, depending on what the material is or how they form the material, what parts of the shoe they use the material in, um, how it starts to rip. That being said, one of my pair of hemp boots has had kind of an opening in the hemp for years, and although it is starting to get a little bit worse, it hasn't affected the overall effectiveness of the shoe. But I have noticed definitely in the past, depending what the material is and how they put the material and where they put it, sometimes it will wear out um, very quickly. And so I think they really need to work on that weave and, of course, the stitching, which I think is happening more and more. I mean, my rackles, I haven't noticed that yet, but I haven't worn them a lot. There are a lot more hemp shoe companies that are using hemp as the complete upper part of the shoe. And so hopefully they have worked out that material issue. So we'll see moving forward. More shoes made of hemp. That's, something, of course, you guys know that I love. I think I've shown my hemp shoe case, racks, wall, I should say. I have a lot of hemp shoes. I have not challenged myself yet, I don't think, to a hemp shoe challenge.
Okay.
Um, but perhaps a hemp shoe challenge is next. I have done hats. I have done shirts. Going, I believe, 160 days plus on both, wearing a different hemp hat and a different hemp shirt every day. Um, and so I challenge you to purchase enough hemp to make that work. Um, a little bit of legislation out there to keep an eye on if you are in Hawaii. I got Hawaii on the brain now. If you are in Iowa, um,
That's a big difference.
HSB, that's still a huge difference. But they both have a W in their name.
Yes.
Anyway, uh, HSB 187 would create an affirmative defense against criminal charges related to hemp. And so obviously there must be some confusion as to, again, if you come up 0.4%, 0.5%, as to whether you're treated like a criminal, which you shouldn't be in most of the hemp industry, um, or you just have to destroy the crop and you move on, knowing you lost the crop, and to get a better cultivar next year. That's for sure. And so, if you're in Iowa, support HSB 187. Let your legislators know that you support that, so people can grow more hemp. South Dakota, HB 1203 provides clear authorization for banks to do business with the industry. This was approved in their House and Senate, I believe, on Monday, and is now sitting on the governor's desk. And I don't think that I think South Dakota is the governor that's not very friendly,
Yeah.
but hopefully she signs it, and they can move on with the banking, which obviously they're having an issue with the banking there, and this will clarify that yes, industrial hemp is 100% legal, and yes, you should be doing business with those businesses, and not fear any retribution. Um, this last one, Kansas HB 2244. If you live in Kansas, I seriously encourage you to get a hold of your legislator and let them know how ridiculously dumb this is. This would put their hemp production under the jurisdiction of the fire marshal.
Yeah.
I just, I don't even understand. I mean, I could see, I was waiting, when I was reading the article, I was waiting to hear the local law enforcement, or, the attorney general, or something related to the criminal aspects of cannabis. But no, it's the fire marshal who will be put in charge of the hemp production in the state. And he would have the authority to shut places down if he thought that they were doing anything illegal. There was like one thing that said if he shut you down, there was a shutdown for 7 days that you couldn't appeal. I mean, I just cannot believe how ridiculous it would be for any state to put their hemp production under anything but their agricultural department. Um, Again, this crop is no different than corn, soybean, or wheat, or whatever it is that they grow a lot of in Kansas. And so there is definitely no reason to put it under law enforcement. And the fire marshal takes it even a step away, because the fire marshal is the least educated guy out of some of these to even know what the hell is going on with cannabis to begin with CBD or THC, and they are not THC friendly in Kansas. And so, I don't know, maybe the fire marshal, I just, I cannot figure this one out whatsoever. I don't even know who raised their hand and said, I want to propose HB 2244, which says the fire marshal should be in charge of our hemp production in the state. I just,
I
I
guess if there's
just
too many people in your hemp field, the fire marshal will come and say you're over capacity and he'll shut you
that's
down.
right, overcapacity.
There's too many people here.
This hemp is too dry. This could go up in
This
flames at any moment.
is a fire hazard.
Can't have that. I just don't. Anyway, Kansas, if you live in Kansas, please, please, please get a hold of your legislators and tell them this is just ridiculous. Ridiculous oversight. Ridiculous. Ah, on some more frustrating notes, I have seen that um, Hemp Earth. Okay, now every 6 months or a year or so, we get this Hemp Earth plane that goes around, and it's always the exact same story. It's been the exact same story for 10 years. Derek Cross is a scam artist, and I don't even say anything to do with this. Again, I don't know how this article about the hemp earth plane that he's been building for 10 years now, taking investments. He's probably got a GoFundMe scam page up right now that would take your money, trying to convince you that he's going to make this plane because he's never going to make this plane. But I did see it's making its way around. The article about the plane is making its way around um, the internet again. Um, and so, for the record, as far as we know, Mark Linde, rest in peace, was actually the first one to make a hemp composite plane. Of course, it was 3D printed and it was about this big, but it was hemp composite, which is what this Derek Cross is claiming he's going to build his hemp plane out of. Don't pay attention to it. If you see this, don't get excited. Don't start spreading it around how cool it is. This hemp plane's going to be flying because this hemp plane is never taken off. The hemp earth plane, hemp earth is what he calls it. Hemp earth plane is never going to take off. And if it is, then, I'll eat crow, as they say, if you find me some crow. Um, but again, uh, as the typical, as my typical bet wager goes, prove me wrong. That's that's what it is. Prove me wrong. Show me a picture of the hemp earth plane taking off, and I will forgive all the bad things that I've said about this scam artist since day one. And he takes people's money. He takes people's money. So don't get sucked into it, folks. This is a warning. Do not buy into anything that guy does. Um, Last little bit of news here. The USDA wants to survey 20,000 or so hemp farmers. Now, the interesting thing about this is they're actually taking public comment on the survey. So I don't know if you can go. I just found this out. Uh, but I don't know if you can go. I'll get some more information. If you can go to the USDA, I assume you can go to the USDA's website and find out where they're taking comment for this hemp survey that they want to do for over 20,000 hemp farmers. Um, which again, I mean, is amazing to think. But there's probably a lot more than that. We started with I think 7 in the first year, 2014. There was maybe 7 to 15 legitimately recognized, federal approved hemp crops. And now they want to survey 20,000 hemp farmers. There's a lot of hemp farmers out there now. It's true. Um, and so, I would definitely say, find out what's going on there. Find out what kind of survey they're really looking to do, and then put some impact. And then if you are a hemp farmer, as soon as I think the survey, they're looking to get the survey out by April to the hemp farmers. And so I'll stay on that and try to update you when I can. Um, Again, not a whole lot of events, but 2 days from now, a big one in Ohio as far as a virtual event goes. Central State University Extension, the Ohio State University Extension, is presenting a 2021 Land Grant Virtual Hemp Conference, looking back to plan for the future. Um, and again, this is going to be, if you are in Ohio and you're thinking about growing um, industrial hemp, this is definitely for you because they're going to talk about growing all forms of hemp. They're going to talk about the economics, pest management, and the most important in Ohio, the licensing. Um, and trust me, when you find out or start looking into it, you'll understand why. And of course, testing and all those things too, and the requirements for that. So I did put that information up on the About page. And so you can go check out there. There's an email and a phone number for Cindy Folk, who is in charge of this, obviously. But this is in 2 days, folks. So if you're in Ohio and you're thinking about doing something in Ohio, I would definitely Try to get involved with that one. March 18th and 19th, you got the second annual Michigan Cannabis Industrial Marketplace Expo. That's in Birch Run, Michigan. March 25th, 27th. We're in March now. It's coming. It's the end, but it'll be here before you know it. Is NOCO. Um, and again, I can't say enough about NOCO and what they do. If you want to get involved, you have a product, and no matter what it is, and all of the hemp industry in the United States, NOCO is one of the best places you can go to get the knowledge. I don't want to assume, but I'm going to assume some of their stuff is going to be available virtually as well as being able to go and wear your mask and social distance and do all the right things. Ignore Texas. Um, but that's at the end of March. April 7th is Charlotte Fiji Day. I need to find out exactly how she pronounced her last name, but if you don't know, Charlotte is of Charlotte Webb's fame. She passed away um, recently. Her birthday, I believe, or she passed away on April 7th of last year after getting to enjoy a much better life with CBD as opposed to what she was experiencing before CBD. Um, and so we will definitely celebrate her life and what her influence on the entire country to get industrial hemp legalized, how all that really played out. April 8th and 9th, the Kentucky Hemp Association is going to be doing a virtual conference. If you're in Kentucky or honestly just really want to know the best things about hemp, because they've been doing it for a while and they really tend to be doing it mostly right anyway. This is going to include U.S. Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky Agricultural Commissioner Ryan Quarles, the chief of the USDA Domestic Hemp Production Program, um, Bill Richmond, and then of course, also university researchers, hemp farmers, hemp businesses. And so it's free for members. If you're a member of the Kentucky Hemp Association, is free. If not,
Mhm.
um, and again, just go there and search the Kentucky Hemp Association, and I'm sure that it will come up if you're interested in that. April 17th, 18th, you got the Pennsylvania Cannabis Festival, Reniger's Antique and Farmers Market in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. And then in May, it's not too far away at this point, 19th and the 20th, you got the Ohio and Kentucky Cannabis and Hemp Expo here at the Duke Energy Convention Center, Cincinnati, Ohio. You can take a visit to one of the Hemptations if you come into town for that one. We'll be right down the street. Two of our locations are actually not too far from downtown Cincinnati. Um, so enjoy that if you want to take a little vacation to Ohio or Kentucky, northern Kentucky. Um, well, that's pretty much it for the events going out till at least May. I did not have any questions. Um, I did. Oh, I see your comment, Stacy. I live in Texas, and we are backwards here. Going back to talking about Kansas, yeah. When it comes to cannabis, Kansas is a little backwards. I don't want to say they're backwards for everything because my sister-in-law is from Kansas and grew up there, so I don't want to offend her. No. But when it comes to cannabis, we all admit Kansas is very confused. It's true. Um, Again, didn't have any questions this week. If you want to have any questions for me, you can always email me at temptations at Yahoo. You can get a hold of me through Facebook, all those things if you have any questions. I'll answer your question probably directly back to you, and then I'll answer it on the show as well. You know, because it does seem kind of silly sometimes to get a question and I think, well, if I wait till the show, they're just going to go do their own research. So, yeah, some of most of it. But I do want to talk a little bit about the range of cannabinoids that we are now experiencing with industrial hemp being legal. And of course, we have picked up these other cannabinoids. Delta 8 is the biggest one people are talking about now. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to a customer the other day, and I haven't really been able to describe Delta 8, but it's like this. it's like CBD is here and THC is here, then Delta 8 is kind of here, um, because we're finding that um, a lot of people are experiencing the effects of Delta 9, but on a kind of a more controllable form, so to speak. It is one of I personally believe, and I'm seeing with a little bit of studying going online and seeing other people's stories, that it is definitely good for soothing the gut, but it's kind of more on the I want to say the upper side. If you don't know, cannabis is actually a stimulant. It is somehow it got classified as an hallucinogen, which it is kind of a hallucinogen because it does alter sound and things they say. Um, but it's actually a stimulant. It increases, and this is THC related, I believe, increases the heart rate. Um, and then it actually opens up it's a bronchial dilator, so it opens up the small passageways to the lung, makes it actually easier to breathe. Of course they say, well, that the indica, takes you down. Well, maybe because the indica maybe has higher concentrates of some of these other cannabinoids that takes you down. Whereas the sativa THC is supposed to be more of that stimulant or cannabis fee. I think Delta 8 is kind of more on that. I think it definitely, whereas CBD is obviously calming. CBD is obviously becoming better for sleep issues, um, which kind of brings me to CBG and CBN. Now, what I've been seeing recently with CBG, and we are starting to pick up a little bit of CBG products, mostly tinctures right now, um, is that CBG may actually be kind of more on the muscle relaxant side of things. Also good for sleep. And so that's just a little bit of the talk that I have seen around the internet from people using CBG. These are testimonials, um, more than anything, because of course there aren't enough medical studies that have been done yet on any of these, including CBD, um, to actually give medical advice, except for the inhaler that's approved by the FDA. Um, we're also seeing with CBN. CBN is becoming more popular as a sleep aid as well, and so CBD and CBN and CBG are kind of once again on that calming sleep aid. But the CBG, I think, is interesting because it is supposed to hit a particular receptor in our head. They are showing that it could act more as a muscle relaxant, which of course we know that CBD. A lot of our customers use it because of its anti-inflammatory properties, and so obviously I think that would help. Now, and it's going to be interesting once again once we start to do the actual medical studies, because these are all testimonials from people, for the most part, but we are starting to see a little bit of studies out there, um, and isolating them again. It just shows the whole genius of the plant to begin with, and now we can have so much better organization, I should say, of what can help you and what in what category you may need that help, so to speak. Um, CBD I think is one of the most influentials as far as being able to help therapeutically. Delta 8 is proving to be what it is for its own purposes, and now we're seeing CBG and CBN popping up and saying, hey, you know what, we're good for this, and might not be good for this, but everything, most of what we do in this new industrial hemp cannabinoid is testimonials. The more people that use these products and it benefits them or it doesn't, is more knowledge that we can use. Until I think cannabis is what again taken off the controlled substance list. I think that's still scaring. legitimate medical studies in CBD, because I feel like they should be able to do legitimate medical studies in CBD, because CBD is off the controlled substance list.
Yeah.
Delta 8 was never on, CBG was never on, CBN was never on. And so now the doctors need to be paying attention to that. Start doing legitimate medical studies on these cannabinoids, because they're not on the controlled substance list. They're not scheduled. So you are 100% allowed to study them, no different than vitamin C or any one of any other vitamin or mineral if you want to do a medical study on it. So I know we're going to be seeing more. We are starting to see some. A lot of what we see comes from surveys from um, particular associations. We've seen the Arthritis Association come out. We've seen the Epilepsy Association come out. We're seeing a lot more of the associations, the large scale national associations coming out and saying, hey, we've surveyed our people on this. It is helping some of them. It's showing this, it's doing this. And so, um, you know, that's what we have to go on right now. But I want to see some medicine. And the big thing now is trust the science, which I think is hilarious, because I'm not on that side of saying trust the science in the aspect that it's saying right now, because my argument about what it's saying right now is, what's the science on the brain? We don't have it. So don't tell me because I have certain parts. Don't tell me that because I have certain parts, I'm in one of two labels, because the brain is what's controlling that. And we are so lacking in the science on the brain, that it's insane. And so let's trust the science on the brain, or let's get the science on the brain, and then we can actually legitimately recognize how someone feels about what gender they are. Anyway, that's not my argument here. I'm not here to talk about that, but I would like to see the science on all the cannabinoids, um, because the more we see the science, the better we all are. There's no doubt about it. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for everybody for watching live, whether it was on the Jedi Hemp channel, or Hemptations Beach Facebook page, or even on Twitter. We sure appreciate it. If you're watching later, thanks for watching later. And if you're listening on the iPod, you missed a lot of good picks today, so you may want to go back to the Jedi Hemp channel
That's right.
or the Hemptations Beach and watch the actual video when you get the chance. Remember, folks, as always, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.